Namo Bhagavate
Recording is
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Om Namo
Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Om
Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 15. Please repeat after me. Yam hina vyathayante te
Yam Vina
Yam hina vyatavantat yete
purusham purusharshabha
Purusham Purusharshabha
samadukha
Purusham
sukham dhiram
Purusharabha
Samadukha Sukha Dhiram
Samadukha Sukham Dhiram
somrtatvaya kalpate.
Somratatvaya Kalpate.
Somritatvaya Kalpate.
We'll do it one more time. Yam hina vyathayantyete
Yam Hina Vyathayanti
Yam hina vyatavantat
purusham purusharshabha
Purusham Purusharshabha
Purusham Purusharshaba
samadukha sukham dhiram
Samadukha Sukham Dhiram
Samduka Sukham Dhiram
somrtatvaya kalpate.
Somrtatvaya Kalpate.
Somritatva.
Would someone like to lead on this verse? Do you want to try? Abhijit, do you want to try? We can follow you. I think he's not able to. Rishi, do you want to try? Your mic is on mute, maybe. Not able to hear you. Kalpesh, do you want to try?
Prabhuji, what's the question?
So, someone would like to lead this verse, would like to recite this verse so we can follow.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yam Hina Vyathante Te
Yam hina vyathayante
Yam
te
hina yante
Purusham Purusharshabha
purusham purusharshabha
Samadukha
Purusharshaba
Samadukha Sukha Dhiram
samadukha sukham dhiram
Samduka Sukham Dhiram
So Amrutatvaya Kalpate.
somrtatvaya kalpate. Yeah, I can hear you, Rishi, now.
Samritatvaya Kalpate.
So, do you want to try, Rishi?
Yeah, I want to try. Yam hina vyathayante te
Yam hina vyathayante te
Yam hina
purusham purusharsabha
purusham purusharshabha
Purusharshaba
samadukha sukham dhiram
samadukha
Samadukha
sukham
Sukham
dhiram
Samduka Sukham Dhiram
somrtatvaya kalpate
somrtatvaya kalpate.
Somritatvaya Kalpate.
Mataji, do you want to try as well?
माताजी की गाड़ी थोड़ी लेट आ रही है आज नहीं
Sure. पता नहीं प्रभु इंटरनेट प्रॉब्ली
Okay.
यस
कोई नहीं
यम हीना व्यथयन्ते ते
Yam hina
Yam hina
vyathayante
vyathayante
te
पुरुषं पुरुषर्षभा
पुरुषम
purusham purusharshabha
समदुःख सुखं धीरं
samadukha
samadukha
sukham
sukham
dhiram
dhiram
सोमृत्वाय कल्पते
somrtatvaya
kalpate.
kalpate. Very nice. It's a very nice verse, the continuation of 2.14. So yamhina vyatayantete. One to whom certainly never distressing to a person. So what it says, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. So, O best among men. So the word is Purusharshabha. Purusha Rishabha is the word. So the meaning of Rishabh is bull. Okay, bull. Rishabha means bull. Bull among Purusha is called Purusha Rishabha. So who's good, bull or bear? Kalpesh.
I like both of them, Prabhuji.
Brother,
When I have lots of money, I like bear, so I can buy more.
but which one is better?
Of course, both.
No, which one is better? There has to be one which is
No,
better than the other.
Yeah, when it's time to have some profits, bull is much better.
Absolutely. When you are happy, when the market is bullish or when the market is
Oh,
bearish?
with that question, yes, bullish is like, you wake up fresh in the morning every day.
Every day, isn't it? Bull is the best.
Yeah.
That is why bull is being referred as Rishabha. Because bull, the way you see it, why do you see? So why I'm talking to Kalpesh on this, this is relating to the markets. You call the markets whether they are bullish or they are bearish. A bullish market is when they are upstart. If you look at the bull, he's always looking up, you know, like this. His thorns are up and he's trying to push things ahead. But whereas the bear is dull, is little on the back foot. Bull is on the front foot. Does it make sense? So bull means active.
Prabhu,
Yeah. Yes.
Prabhu, I the other way. I thought like bull can pull a cart, for business. Like he can be productive. Bear is like okay. I thought like that.
Okay. So bull is in the active mode, or it is like the best. That's why we call bull being the top among the what you call the bull. He's the bull of something. We say that he's the bull in that. He's the best in that. So that's the way to address someone who is the topmost in any area. So Arjun is being referred to by Krishna as the Purusha Rishabha. It's a bull among the Purusha. So he's addressing him as that. And why is he addressing him like that? Any reason?
Encouraging him, Prabhu, like we say to somebody encouraging words. You are good. You should do this. Or just to encourage.
Arjun is always determined.
Okay. So what is the instruction Krishna is giving him here in the last verse? 2.14. What
Oh,
is
the
the instruction?
14th.
Tolerate the different distresses and happiness in life.
So why is he telling him to tolerate?
To become among men.
Because
Why?
these are
They keep
sensory
changing and
perceptions.
Okay.
So
But
don't
why is he
focus
telling
on,
him all this?
because he's distressed.
Correct. Because he's crying.
He's crying. Yeah.
Someone like Arjun, who has fought so many battles, killed so many men, single handedly defeated so many people at once, single handedly defeated Bhishma, single handedly defeated Karna. All together, they came in all together to fight with him. Bhishma,
Mm,
Karna,
yeah.
Duryodhan, everyone
Virat Prabhu,
together.
Virat,
Yeah,
that
Virat Yuddha. So
war.
he fought with them
Mm.
single handedly and defeated them. He went single handedly and defeated Drupada, whom Duryodhan went with all his brothers and tried to defeat him. He could not. Arjun just went single handedly and made Drupad the prisoner of war and gave him as a gift to his guru. Drupad, a very powerful king. That Arjun who went to heaven to get all the massive weapons of mass destruction. He got all the big weapons. He got Brahmastra. He got Pashu Patastra from Shiva. All the best of the. He got the chariot from Agni. So having all, so you can imagine a person who has these credentials of defeating so many people and has literally all these weapons with him of mass destruction in his hand. They are just at a click of a button and he can release all of them. That person and that ferocious warrior whom nobody can even think of defeating while he's sleeping. Gudakesha, the one who's sleeping and someone tries to even thinks about, goes past thinking about killing him, he gets up and fights that person off. That kind of a warrior, you imagine, is crying. Amazing, isn't it? He's the best among the men. That's why Krishna is saying, how can you cry? You are the best among the men. You are Purusha Rishabha. So it's an address to Arjun. Yamhina vyathayantyete. Vyathayanti means distressing. Purusham Purusharshaba. These distressing situations should not affect you. They should not affect a person like you. If you get affected, imagine others. What will happen to them? You cannot get affected. You are setting an example for everyone because people look up to you, look up to Arjun. I should become that. When we see leaders, don't we think that way? That these are the leaders, we should look up to them. We should become like that one day, who can handle so much of uh, handle so much of distress, handle so much of difficult situations. These handle, we look up to these, they are idols. And if they start crying, what happens to us? So he's saying, you are the best among men. You are the Rishabha, and you cannot cry. And then next he says, Sama dukkha sukham dhiram. Someone who is Dhira Purusha. Who is a Dhira Purush? What does it mean by Dhira? We've done this before.
Sober.
Sober.
Stay.
So what do you mean by sober?
Someone who doesn't get bewildered by changes, whether be good or bad,
So where is that change happening?
in his mind.
Very nice. So if someone is portraying that he's calm, but he is unstable from inside, that is not Dhira Purusha. Dhira Purusha is someone who is stable from inside. Now he's saying two things here, Krishna. What are the two things he's saying? Sama dukkha sukham dhiram. So that is, you are in, you're sober in distress, and you are sober in Yes. In
Happiness.
happiness. Can someone explain me this? If you have understood, is it trying to say? Think about it. I'll just be back.
I think I did explain that right like before.
So you explain me now. Think about it and tell me what does that mean.
Uh, सोचो सब लोग सोचो और कुछ बताओ मुझे हेल्प करो.
Sorry, what's the question?
मैं भी भूल गया लिंक ही टूट गया मेरा. Prabhuji, Vishaka is asking what is the question. प्रभुजी आपका माइक नहीं चल रहा मेरे ख्याल से.
Yes, tell me.
Vishaka wants to know the exact question.
So Arjun is distressed. Correct? Agreed? Everyone agrees?
Yes.
He's crying. So Krishna is asking him to be sober, dhira, to become sober. Sama dukkha sukham dhiram. But he's saying sukha also. So what is he? Why is he saying sukha and dukkha both?
Because Arjun is supposed to be Arya, and Arya does not have all these toxins in them.
We can have.
Sorry,
We can have them.
we should not have, but we have it here.
So this lesson is for us. So I want to know, what have we understood from this?
That life is a balance of ups and downs, happiness and sadness.
Mhm. Okay.
Hmm.
So sama dukkha sukham dhiram means what?
Basically,
Prabhu, is it to stay steady
Sukh and Dukh, they are both
in
same.
Hmm?
I mean, they are not both same, but we should remain steer and stable in both the situations. Like it should not bewilder us in any way. It should be just taken as an experience.
Can you give an example?
Uh, just you and I can give an example. When we buy something on the market, it goes up. We are always stable. If it goes down, we are stable.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes, Mataji.
Prabhu, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Prabhu, is it that you stay stable and steady while discharging your duties, while sometimes what happens, met, and sometimes you get happiness, sometimes you get sadness from the people you're serving, but you should stay stable and your duties. Like as a mother, I serve kids, and one kid can be very not good in behavior, but I think I should stay stable doing my duties, love and provide them, and be strict with discipline and all. But I cannot be unstable when they get sick, or like, or when they are not behaving as per my expectation. So I feel challenge, and if we and can stay steady, then what this verse is saying is that we are ready on the path of liberation. Like, so that is what my understanding is, Prabhu. Thank you.
So Sukha and Dukkha comes and goes. They both come and go.
Mhm.
So today you might be happy for some reason, or something good might have happened in your life. So you tend to be happy. If something bad happens after a few days, you might feel sad. But what Krishna is trying to say is, in both this situation, remain calm, remain still and stable, because this will come and go. Sukh and Dukh will come and go.
That's a good understanding of keeping us that. But what is the actual thing? how do you, I mean, given, have you ever come across this? Have you ever experienced this?
I have
Okay,
recently quite a few times.
okay, okay. Anyone else would like to give an example?
Prabhuji, I think tolerating happiness or success is a very difficult task.
Wonderful. Very good. Very good point.
Goes to your head or your mind.
Yeah, yeah. Give an example. Have you come across this?
Yes, I mean, for example, if you get a very good high-paying job, or you get a lot of power in your role,
Hmm.
you identify yourself so much with the role, you
Mm,
forget yourself.
very
Sometimes you
nice.
do excesses.
Good point. Yes. Yes. That's
सलाम
right.
कोई कर रहा है आदत पड़ गया उसका.
Very nice. Mm. Vishaka, do you want to add something?
I was just going to say there's a very famous saying, this too shall pass. It applies to both happy situations and sad or unfortunate situations.
Mm. Aditi and Abhijit has some mic problems. Aditi, do you want to add something?
No, no, nothing.
Okay, okay. So there is a mentality, which generally comes with the kind of situations you have been grown up with, or the kind of facilities you have been given. That mentality is called entitlement mentality. Have you heard about this? What is entitlement mentality?
Privilege, sense of
Yeah.
privilege. Yeah.
So when someone gets everything what he wants, right from the childhood till the boyhood till the youth, that becomes a kind of a habit. It becomes a kind of necessity. The luxuries start becoming necessities. But there is no line you can draw between necessities and luxuries. It's very difficult to draw that line because it depends on specific people and their way of their grooming, which has happened throughout their life. So if you look at Duryodhan as an example, he had the entitlement mentality that this kingdom is mine. So he had toys when he was little, and he used to play with those toys. And when Pandavas came in to the palace, he had to share those toys, which he didn't want it to. So this kingdom also was a toy for him, which was entitled to him, saying that you will get this kingdom in at some point of time. And then when he saw that that is not going to happen, that's when all the problems started inside him. So when we think that this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, that's when the problems start. So that relates to everything, not just things, but relationships as well. So relationships are okay. They are our dharma. We have to do them. We have to do our responsibility. But if the relationships become the only reason, the only purpose of our life, that's when the problem starts. So relationships or work or things, whatever you do, you acquire in your life. They are there as a part of your life. It is the purpose. Yes, they can be a purpose of your life, but they should not be the only purpose of your life. So many people ask me, saying that, is it wrong to take care of your parents? Is it wrong to take care of the kids? Should we just give them all up and, always think about Krishna? Should we all do that? Is it right? So there is something called as a responsibility. There is something called as um, a duty which you have to perform because you are in a relationship, you are a part of a family. Yes, that is a purpose of the life, but that is not the purpose of the life.
Prabhuji, I think we discussed paradharma, aparadharma.
Correct. So when we talk about these relationships, things that we acquire, jobs that we do, like Rishi correctly said, if we relate ourselves as an engineer, as a software uh, or an engineer or a manager or a big head or CEO of an IT company or something like that, we identify ourselves as that. Tomorrow, if we lose that job, what are we? I mean, it's not a spiritual question, it's a technical question, it's a logical question. Who are we if we are not that? I've seen many people who lose their jobs, at a very high paid jobs at a very high position. They lose their job. And then tomorrow they have to say drive a taxi or work somewhere which is lower than their credentials. They do that. What makes them? Then, if they identify themselves as some position at some organization, if you don't have that, what are you? Similarly goes in the relationship. If you identify yourself as a spouse of someone, and that is the only purpose of your life, what if that relationship breaks? Who are you? What is your identification then?
We shouldn't tie our identities to people or places or things or
Absolutely.
titles.
Absolutely.
Mm.
We should try to find out our identity rather than taking shelter of XYZ events, places, organizations, relatives, whatever. They are some things, but they are not everything. That should not be the only purpose of your life. Does it make sense? So a Dhira Purush, now I'll come back. Now what is a Dhira Purush? So who's a Dhira Purush? Samadukha Sukham Dhiram.
Does it mean patient? Dheer.
Okay, patient. Patience relates to time. So you wait, you pause. That's patience. So you don't act or you don't react on something. You wait, you have a pause. But what is dhira? What is soberness?
Mm.
Now that is hard to explain in words sometimes. It's a feeling. Now, suddenly you get, say, suddenly you get $50 million.
Mm.
How would you feel from inside? Yeah. Practically, if you get that, how would you feel from inside? People change. People have a different outlook. Possessions change you. Acquisitions change you. It's very hard to handle. And the way to check the barometer is that when you are not provided recognition, when you are not provided those acquisitions, are you feeling composed from inside or do you hanker for them? You know what is hankering? What is hankering? What is hankering? Anyone?
Prabhu, craving, like craving for
Craving.
something very
Yes.
desperately. Craving for something very desperate.
Yeah, desperately hankering would be craving, but hankering means always desiring for something within, but not actually, actively craving for it, but desiring from it in. That's hanker. So you may be doing something, but showing that I'm not doing it for this, but actually you are. Like many people, they sell something, they tell you, oh, I'm not making profit in that. No, it's not that. He does, but he's not making that much profit. That's what he's trying to tell. So not hankering is something which you have internally. You're hankering, wanting something, but not actually showing that I want it. So hanker is that. Craving or something is you just directly actually say, I want to eat this. I want this. or straight away upfrontly speaking about it. But hankering is something which you have internally. You always want it, but you don't tell. You share it with someone who's very close to you, but you don't tell. You hanker for it. It's there, and it actually doesn't show, but it shows up when you don't get it for a long period of time. It comes out. I've seen fighting people. What have you done for me? You know, yeah, normally he'll be very good for that person. "Yeah, you are very nice. You're a very good friend of mine." But suddenly, when the volcano erupts, he said, "You have done nothing for me. You are nothing for me. You have done nothing for me in my whole life." You know, that means you are hankering for him to do something for you. He didn't show it up. Now, since the volcano erupted, you're hankering, all that hankering desires are coming out. So hanker is something which is hidden. We hanker. We always hanker. And lamentation is the opposite. So when we hanker and we don't get it, that's lamentation. So life of a living entity is said in the Vedas and Shastra is that it based on this hankering and lamentation. These are the two things which a living entity does throughout his life. I want that, and if it doesn't get that, oh, I didn't get that. Call it events, call it things, call it people, relationships, everything, money, whatever. That's how the life is. I want that, I want that, I want that. I didn't get, I didn't get, I didn't get. That's what it does throughout. So a person who is dhira, he doesn't hanker. So we spoke about optimizers and maximizers last time. Maximizers are the ones who always hanker for the better. Optimizers are the ones who accept what is given and utilize them at their best. They are optimizers. So optimizer is the best example of Dhira Purush. He's sober. Why? Because he is happy with what he has and he uses to its best. Dhira Purush or a sober person accepts what he has and doesn't hanker. So when there is not much hankering, there is not much lamenting. So when we say hanker, hanker is when you have something and you want more. So hankering further goes to greed. Now say you have $50 million. You don't know about what you're going to do about it now at the moment, but once you have it, you will have unlimited desires. I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that, all sorts of things. So if you are not hankering at that point, then you are a sober. So that means you are able to handle. And to check that at the moment, the best way is that do you really like when someone praises you? Do you really like when you get a lot of money? Are you really happy when this thing happens to you? That means that particular event, thing, or person is your driving force, which can actually distract you or disturb you in your soberness. It can make you not so dhira purusha. That is your object of distraction. That is the object of your distress. So if that is not happening, if you are not too much attracted or craving or hankering for that thing, then you are dhira. And if you don't get it, you are not lamenting. That means you will not be distressed either. Samadukha sukham dhiram. So you are at equilibrium from inside all the time. And that practice is current. So that you achieve by being practice. So that's achieved by practice, which is sadhana, and detachment. So detachment is described. If you read the purport of this verse, you will see that sannyasa is the renounced order of life, which is detaching from everything, all the worldly activities, all the worldly relationships you detach with. But that is not just leaving everyone and going away, and living away from them is not sannyasa. It is that state inside, the equipoised state from inside within, that if that family stays with him or it does not, he's the same from inside. That is called sober. That is called dhira. So if they are there, no problem. If they are not there, no problem. That feeling of equipoiseness within inside, that is called dhira. That person is called dhira purush. Sama dukkha sukham dhiram. So are you able to handle, do you feel happy when you get a lot of recognition? Does it gives you a lot of sweets to your ego? Yes, then that thing or that recognition is your object of distraction, object of distress. You have to detach from it. And that requires sadhana, that requires practice. Do you crave for recognition? Do you crave for money? Do you crave for all these things? Do you feel that, oh, I should have it? The other, the totally opposite feeling of this one is when someone recognizes, you feel irritated. I don't like this. That is detachment. That is the best state of mind. When you do not like recognition, when you do not like something what you more than what you want. You have it, that's fine. You have it, that's fine. Say you what you need for your whole life, say you need just $1 million. But you get $10 million you're getting from somewhere. You won't say, no, I don't want $9 million. I do want $1 million because I need only that much. No, you do take $10 million. That's right. But you utilize those $10 million, $1 million for yourself, and $9 million which you have extra, you use it as Lakshmi, not as Maya. Do you know the difference between Maya and Lakshmi? What is the difference between Maya and Lakshmi? Abhijit? His mic is not working. Sorry. Yes, Vishakha, do you want to try? What is Maya? What is Lakshmi?
Maya, I would say, is again something that we desire in the material world.
Okay, so $9 million which you got extra, they can be Maya, they can be Lakshmi. I'm giving you a hint.
When
So,
you say they can be Lakshmi,
yeah.
which means you respect it and maybe use it for purposes other than fulfilling your own desires.
Oh, we love and respect money. No problem about it. Yes, we do. The way we identify them as Maya or Lakshmi is the utilization of
Mm,
that. That's how you identify them. If it is utilized for all the worldly activities, satisfying your own self, satisfying your senses, satisfying your hanker, cravings, and all those things.
that's
If
Maya.
you use that, that's called Maya. But if it is used as a service to Krishna or service to the Lord, service to the Supreme, then it becomes Lakshmi. Because Lakshmi always sits on the feet of Vishnu, if you see. So Lakshmi serves Krishna. Maya is Maya. So Maya we use for our own selves. Yeah. It's the same money, same resources. Yeah. So the purpose of something, the utilization of something defines its identity. Okay. So dharma means, or nature of something means the purpose or its utilization.
So, Prabhuji, how do we know that the actions that we are doing are for your self desire or for the purpose of Krishna?
Every action that we do has a fault. Every action that we perform in this material world has a fault. Did you know that?
I did not understand last word. Has a
Fault. F-A-U-L-T. Fault.
What, like
Has a
sin, you mean?
dosha. Dosha.
Okay.
So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I'll tell you the verse number. It's chapter 18. Please open that. Chapter number 18. I'm just, it's 48. 48th verse. Okay. So I'll read the verse for you. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadoshamapi na tyajet sarvarambha hi doshena dhumena nir ivarta. Says that every endeavor, every work that we do, every attempt that we do, anything is covered by some fault. Just as fire is covered by smoke. Fire is very pure. It's considered pure. Anything that passes by fire is considered pure. But the smoke is impure. Correct? So it's compared to that. So every work you do in this world contains fault, just like fire contains smoke. So what should we do? Therefore, one should not give up the work born of his nature. What is your nature? So we go one step back to identify whether we are doing things or working as a service to the Lord, or whether we are doing it for our own self. We have to identify our own nature first. O son of Kunti, even if such work is full of fault. So Krishna says that if you are doing something out of your own nature, out of your dharma, that you have to continue doing even if it is full of fault.
What does that mean? अगर मेरे को किसी को ठोकने का मन करता है मैं ठोकते रहूं उसको. I mean,
What
like
is it? What is
अगर
it?
किसी को मारने का मन कर रहा है तो मारते रहने का उसको.
Now you are including mind here, you see, where
हाँ.
Krishna is not speaking about the mind at all. Yeah.
जैसे for example जो
What is
डाकू,
Krishna speaking about? Krishna is speaking about nature. Have you understood what is nature? What is dharma?
I have understood.
Okay,
our
tell me what is
purpose.
nature. What is the nature of a living being?
Okay, so there are 4 varnas.
No, direction is wrong. That is not
Okay.
nature.
Rishi has put his hand up.
Yes, Rishi.
Service is the nature.
Wonderful.
To
Wonderful.
serve.
Correct? Does it make sense to you, Kalpesh?
Service. Service to whom?
Service. Now,
That is the question.
this is the catch. Whom are you serving? इधर तुमको आंसर मिल जाएगा तुम्हारा.
I have a question. In context of this one,
Yes, Prabhu.
you know, there are dakus. Okay, dakus. डकैत जाके डकैती डालता है. डकैती के वक्त वो लोगों को मारते हैं, पुलिस को मारते हैं, वहां से सब सामान लेके अपने फैमिली को भी वो लोग पालते हैं. तो ये उनका नेचर है, मे बी, आई डोंट नो, बट आई एम जस्ट गिविंग अ context here. So as per that statement that you made earlier, does that mean that they should remain decade for rest of their life if they are enjoying that job?
You tell me, did we talk about enjoying our job? You tell me. What we talk about?
Maybe that I missed something.
No, service. So you service, is that what you understand doing job?
So they're giving service to their family, right?
Okay. So service to the family means whom are you serving?
Maybe
yourself.
their wife, kids, mother, father, brother.
Who are wife, kids?
That's their duty.
No, no.
Their identification.
Exactly. They are your own extension, right? Your own extension. वो कौन है? Wife किधर से आई?
Self.
खुद से. बच्चे किधर से आए? मेरे से. Everything is you. So if you are satisfying your wife and senses, you are nothing else but satisfying your own senses, right?
But that's your duty, right?
1 minute. Let's understand this. First, whom are you serving here? The question is that, right? Whom are we serving?
Your own senses, in a way,
Correct.
indirectly,
Correct.
I would say.
Correct. Good. Good.
Indirectly, Prabhuji, but not directly. So I'm
That's
not
fine.
convinced yet. But
No, that's fine. That's fine. We'll go step by step. First, understand whom are you serving. Correct? Now, whose pleasure it is?
both, the one who is getting served as well as the one who is serving.
That is called Maya. So the one who is being served and the one who is being serving, if two people are involved in this material world, that is called Maya. When there is a triangle love story, when Krishna is involved, when these both are doing something so that Krishna is served, then it is Lakshmi.
But Krishna says, na, karm karo karke.
तो कर्म
Do
ही
your
करना है.
duty.
कर्म ही करना है.
तो अगर एक बंदा शादीशुदा है, उसको अगर बीवी बच्चे हैं, उसका ड्यूटी.
एक वो तो हो गया ना, वो तो कर लिया हमने शादी, वहां तक तो बात ऑलरेडी हो गई. अब पॉइंट ये है कि प्लेजर किसका? सर्विस तो ठीक है, लेकिन प्लेजर किसका? Whose pleasure are you working for? Question is that.
Your own self and
Exactly.
your
No. So when you are saying your own self and the family, that means your own self, because your family is your extension, correct?
Okay.
So if you are only working for the pleasure of the family, then you are in what? Are you using your money for Maya? Is Maya or Lakshmi?
I don't think it's Maya, but
You don't think, that's fine. But by definition, what it is, if you are using the money for your own pleasure, so I'll give you another example, okay?
so can you give me an example of non-Maya?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So Ravan, you know Ravan? Ravan also wanted to enjoy Sita. Correct? Yes. So what did he do?
He kidnapped her.
Apharan.
He kidnapped her. He took her away from Ram. Correct? Correct? And Hanuman, he also wanted to actually take the shelter of Sita. He considered him as his mother. What did he do?
He saved her.
No, he served Ram. He got Sita automatically as his mother. So whom do you want to be? Ravan or Hanuman? Who's your idol?
Hanumanji.
Simple, right? So if you want,
Hanumanji.
if you want Lakshmi,
You serve Krishna,
whom
you
will you
get
go to?
Lakshmi.
So if you use your all your resources, your money, only for the pleasure of you and your extensions, that remains Maya. It's simple. So whatever you have, if it is used for the pleasure of your own self and your relatives and your extensions, there is no service of Krishna here. There is no pleasure of Krishna here. Where is the pleasure of Krishna? Yes, tell me.
So, Prabhuji,
Yeah.
I understood little bit of the example you gave about Hanumanji and Ram and Sita and Raman. Okay, that
Yes.
was very obvious actually.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make it a bit more simple but a bit complicated. For example, there's an individual, right? He is married, he has kids, right? And he is earning, say, some money. Obviously, he wants his family to be happy, you know, his wife and his kids, you know, so he pays their bills and everything, right? So, according to the definition in here, it is a Maya. Okay, now after understanding few theories, okay, this could be a Maya. In a way, this is a Maya. But what is not Maya?
So just an addition to that what you said. So taking care of the family, taking care of your own self is not wrong. Is not a wrong purpose. But that should not be the only purpose. That is a purpose, but should not be the purpose. That should not be the only purpose. That should not be your only reason to live in this world. So people do this. I take care of this. I take care of my family, I take care of myself, and that's it. Thank you very much. I go
But
out.
those are the duties given by Krishna as well, right?
Those are the duties you have taken.
So I'm still not getting what is not Maya.
Yes, Vishaka, you can answer if you want
Sorry.
to. Yeah.
No, I had a question actually, an
Yeah.
extension of his question. Could
Okay.
you please give examples of how we can serve Krishna in today's world?
Very
How
nice.
can we say that we are using our money as Lakshmi and not as Maya?
Very nice. Sure.
In
Sure.
today's
Yeah.
world, what is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
What are the examples?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Prabhuji,
come. Yeah. Yes,
one
Rishi.
point before we change this topic, I just wanted to add a comment to
Yes.
Kalpesh's word.
Yes.
We keep talking about this thing about duty towards family. I mean, it sounds very respectable, and or that we're doing a duty, but really speaking, it is a transaction. You are connected to your family members, etc., because you you have developed that bond, that relationship over a period of time. It's not a one-way street. If you're doing something for them, say taking care of them, providing food, shelter, whatever, you're also getting happiness in return. So that happiness that we get, that is not Krishna conscious happiness. That is self-serving at the end of the day. Because I'm happy to do it. Suppose tomorrow I'm not happy to do it, I won't do it. Just give an example. So is that a correct understanding that I'm having of what is duty really?
So if we go back to 2.11 and 2.12, yeah, if we understand those verses through and through, we will not have these questions. Trust me. The problem is that we are not convinced of 2.12 and 2.13. 11, 12, 13. We are not convinced of that. If we are convinced that we are this soul, we are not this body, then we will understand this very, very clearly. So, going back, one step back from 2.12 and 13, I'll go one step back to what is religion, what is dharma. Now, religion is not the direct translation of dharma, I would say. What is dharma? What is a dharma?
So,
Definition of dharma.
Purpose.
Purpose. Okay. So the purpose of anything, for what it is utilized to serve its purpose, right? We say that, isn't it? That this thing, if it is not serving its purpose, it's not that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct.
Yes or no? You with me?
Yep.
Sugar is not making things sweet, so it's not sugar.
Yep.
It has to solve its purpose. So I'll come back to 2.12 and 13. What is Krishna saying? Natve vaham jatunasam natvam neme janadipaha. There was never a time when I was not there. There was never a time when you and these kings were not there. That means we are eternal. Are we convinced?
Yes, we are. I am, at least I am convinced. But
Okay, good.
the thing is, like Krishna is also telling Arjun that okay, your duty is to kill those people, right?
I
So
will come to that.
that Krishna helped him to identify him that okay, that's your duty.
Correct.
So that's been duty given to him, right?
Correct.
Now
No, no,
now
no, 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 no,
obviously,
no, no, no. That is not duty being given to him by Krishna. That is his duty.
Kshatriya
yeah,
Dharma.
that's his duty, right?
That is his duty. That's it. But what is soul and what is a body? That has to be identified first before we come to duty. Why? I tell you why. Okay. If you have a problem in your body, okay, you have a severe problem in your body, will you go to someone just like that and tell him to fix the disease in your body? Or
No.
will you identify someone as a doctor and then you go to him?
You will want to go to a specialist.
Correct? You'll
Mm.
do identification first, whether he is a doctor or not, and whether he is specializing in that area or not. Then you will go so that he can perform his duty. Correct? So before doing the duty, what is important?
Identification.
Identification. It's a little deeper. Okay, थोड़ा डेप्थ है इस बात में. थोड़ा भेजे को ना थोड़ा घुसना पड़ेगा अंदर, बुद्धि को झंझोड़ना पड़ेगा. Try to understand this fact that before doing anything, you have to identify. Without identification, you cannot perform the duty. Correct?
That is, yes, agreed.
Agreed?
Yeah.
तो ड्यूटी की बात ही नहीं करनी चाहिए हमें जब तक आइडेंटिफिकेशन क्लियर नहीं हुआ है. Otherwise, we are riding on two horses and no destination will be achieved. एक इधर जा रहा है, एक उधर जा रहा है. What is the duty of a soul?
Desire,
No, that is the nature of the soul.
nature, yeah, sorry, yeah.
It is not the duty of the soul. So what is the soul's dharma? That is called swarupa. So any dharma, when someone does, yeah, it is its real self or swarupa. Sugar, वापस वही example दे रहा हूँ. Sweetness, it is swarupa of sugar. Similarly, what is the real swarupa of soul?
Sachidananda.
Very good. And there is something more to it, that it remains in bliss because it is always serving Krishna. Jive swarupena nityera Krishna das. Remember, when the soul is always in the service of Krishna, it is in bliss. When the soul gets in contact with the material body, problems start. Contamination शुरू हो जाता है. Correct? That is why when the soul comes in contact with the body, It is called conditioned soul, contaminated soul. Whereas the soul, when goes in the service of Krishna, Paramatma, it goes in the state of bliss and it becomes liberated soul. ये समझ में आ रही है बातें? वो लिबरेशन मोक्ष बोलते हैं उसको. या करेक्ट? ये समझ में आई यहां तक बात? अगर यहां तक बात समझ में आ रही है ना पूरी क्लियरली, इसमें अगर कोई भी डाउट है ना तो हम लोग आगे नहीं बढ़ सकते अनफॉर्चुनेटली. क्या हम लोग 2.15 16 तक पहुंच जाते हैं लेकिन 12 क्लियर नहीं है, 13 क्लियर नहीं है, तो फिर उधर फंस जाते हैं. अरे यार ये क्या हो गया, बॉडी किधर से आ गई, वो सेपरेशन ही नहीं है दिमाग में.